I love game collecting. However, there is some things that bug me. So in this video, we're going to talk about gaming pet peeves. And that's from gaming to collecting to all that. And I've got 3 tips here. Not really tips, but things that really bug me and that I just wish would be fixed and people would stop doing this. But you can't control everyone, and well, people have their own ideas and they think this is a right thing to do, or it may not be necessarily something that they need to fix, which is a big bummer, but you gotta deal with people, so that's how it is when you're game collecting. If you're out there flea marketing or hitting the thrift stores or whatever, you're gonna have to deal with people. And honestly, even if you're going to GameStop or buying Amazon, well, maybe not Amazon, if you're going into a store and having to buy stuff, you're gonna have to deal with people. And even in like places like GameStop, some of this happens and it just kills me. So I'm gonna talk about those things right now. The first thing that really bugs me is when someone's like, oh, I've got some old games, 50 bucks. And you look at them and you're like, 3 Atari 2600 games, Concentration, Street Racer, and Superman. None of these are even games on the Atari 2600 that people really go after, or the common games that are probably the most fun. Honestly, these are all games that I picked up for $1 a piece. Actually, this one was $2, but you know what I'm saying. So I spent $4 on 3 games, and honestly, for Atari 2600 games, that's well worth it. But when people say, I've got old games, 50 bucks, it's just the worst, because they, first off, don't know what they have, which means they're just pricing to get as much money as they can. And second off, well, they're games that are just old and Like, these games are nothing special. They're not sought after. No one probably wants them. I mean, except for your Atari 2600 fans like me. I'll pick up any game that's under $2 if it's on the Atari 2600. But all the time I get people say, hey, I've got a bunch of old games, 50 bucks. Or, I got an old game, $20. It's a $3 Top Gun. Top Gun's probably not even worth $1 on the NES. In my mind, it's not. But I'll always see people like $15, $20, and I'm like, what? Who in their right mind would spend that much money on a game that they sold millions of, and it was just a terrible game, let alone they made millions of them? So that's the first thing that bugs me, is when people have old games and they don't know what they have and they're asking outrageous prices. The next thing is stickers on games. And as you can tell, I've got this one from either like a GameStop or a local store that kind of is regional named Vintage Stock. Not only do they put a sticker here on the front, here on the back, but they also have a sticker here on the spine. Thankfully, the one on the spine is not stuck to the artwork. Whenever you see that, that's the worst. This is a really fun game. Orange Box is awesome. If you have never played Half-Life 2 or Team Fortress 2 or even Portal, this is something you gotta buy, especially if you are a fan of the PlayStation 3. The game aside, stickers are the worst. I've tried to take this sticker off and it rips. I didn't even try this one, and on this one I'll have to open it up and slide it out and then slide the artwork back in and close it back up. That's a pain. There are 3 stickers on this one game. There are 2 prices. There's a price on this sticker and on this sticker. However, the one on the back doesn't have a sticker with a price. It's just the barcode, as if the other 2 weren't helping it at all. Now, this next one is a Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six on the Nintendo 64. And I know this one is probably going to be hard to see. I'll try to show some footage of it. But this actually has a Blockbuster sticker. And usually with these Blockbuster stickers, what I'll do is I'll get some isopropyl alcohol. And where it says property of Blockbuster, I'll just clean it off. And it'll just be like a clear sticker. But the bad part about these things is you've got a clear sticker all the way across on the label. there's some on the top here connecting, and then all the way on the back label. And there's these bars that have like metallic strips in them, and then it says property of Blockbuster, property of Blockbuster, property of Blockbuster. Okay, we get this. Also, there are some companies that will like brand it. Like I know the Hollywood Video here used to brand their name into the actual games. I couldn't find any that I have. I think I've seen some around, but I just couldn't find them when I looked. That's one thing that bugs me, is whenever people put stickers or branding, I guess, on cartridges or cases that don't even need it. Like this one does not need the sticker. Now, I'm assuming they did that to cover up the screws so people weren't switching the boards, but come on. You don't gotta ruin the thing, because if I try to take the sticker off, it will ruin the label. Honestly, it's not worth it, because this is a variant, and, well, I have the gray copy as well. So, I'm just irritated with this. Stickers on games suck. Don't put them there. If you're gonna put a sticker on a cartridge game, put it on the plastic, because it'll be easier to pull off. If you're gonna put a sticker on a case, put it in the spine, not stuck to anything. Because I can walk through, see this in all the games, and see, oh, this is $17.99, I don't want to pay that much. Or, this has stickers all over it, I don't want that. So this next one actually is kind of the biggest pet peeve that I have. And honestly, I'll say this, I'm not trying to bash on GameStop here. It just ended up happening. This case just ended up being a GameStop case. I didn't realize it, but I did complain about it. And that is loose disc games. Let's talk about this. Look at all these loose discs that I have. I have way more, and it's the worst, because there is no way for me to store this properly. There is no way for me to store this properly. Now, I already have most of these games here in the stack, but some of these games are some really good games. I got Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1, I got Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, I got a football game that isn't good, I got Star Wars, Clone Wars, I've got Star Wars Episode 3, I've got Simpsons Hit and Run. That's a very good game. If you haven't played it, you definitely need to check it out. It's like Grand Theft Auto, but Simpsons. You've got Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, and you've got Spider-Man. All these games were cool and good when they came out. They're still actually pretty good games nowadays. If you like games like that, that's kind of cool. But honestly, there is no way for me to store this. You see that? All of these are scratched up. When I drop them, I already know these are scratched up very bad, so I'm not worried about dropping them. Nothing was harmed here, so don't worry about it. I will resurface them anyways. That's why they're all in a stack. But we're talking loose disc games, and this is quite literally the worst. Dark Cloud. I have a good game and no case. Also, not to be mistaken for my Dark Cloud 2, which is also in a lame case and doesn't have the original case. That's a red box case. For some reason, they were selling the red box case with it. And honestly, I picked up the game because I did not have it. But now I have Dark Cloud and Dark Cloud 2. Both great games, look awesome, but I don't have the cases for them. And this is something I almost never do. Buying loose games is never something I like to do. I will see them in maybe some bundles and I'll get some that way. That's how I got most of these games on the floor here, honestly. But I bought both of these loose disc because they were cheap, honestly. They were cheap, and so it was worth the deal, worth the price. However, I hate that I have to stack them because I put this in the case with all the games, and then I have to put this under it. I know that this is Dark Cloud because this is the only red box I would put even remotely near my shelves. First off, these things look terrible. This red box is garbage. Also, this Dark Cloud, not really worth it because of the case sucks. But the games themselves are in good condition here. But honestly, that is one thing that bugs me so much because that is absolutely the worst thing, is when you find a game that you like or you want and you want to play it, and then you see it's in a GameStop case. It's in a Redbox case. That's the worst. Please put your games back in your cases. Don't lose them. So if I buy them, I can have the cases. Honestly, I know another big culprit is GameStop. And like I said, I don't want to talk bad about GameStop here. I'm not meaning to. It just kind of happens. They're good examples of what not to do. And honestly, this next thing is going to blow my mind because it's related to this. GameStop takes discs. They take discs for the same price as complete. I know it probably makes it easier for them to track, but honestly, it sucks because I'll buy games online. If you've watched my recent videos about GameStop or buying stuff from GameStop, I always get at least one thing that is a loose disc. And it kills me because now I have to go out and go on eBay and try to find a copy with just the case and the manual. And that really sucks. But it happens. But the worst thing about it is GameStop used to, and they may still do this, they would throw away the cases for the DSs and the 3DS games and just keep the cartridge. But I digress. We're not talking about GameStop and how terrible they are. I'm sorry if you love GameStop. I have a love-hate relationship. Sometimes I love it, a lot of times I hate it. So, with that being said, what are your pet peeves? Please comment down below and let me know, what do you do and what do you see that just bugs you? But since you're here, I want to just say, if you want to get in contact with me in any way other than YouTube, hit me up on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. If you want a shirt like this, there's a Big Cartel and an Amazon link down below. There's also a Patreon. Don't feel obligated to go into any of that or pay for anything. This content is free, and I'm loving it, so I want you guys to love it as well. With that being said, since you're here and you've watched this far, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and make sure you hit that bell notification. But, most importantly, make sure you have a good day.